Everyone, good to see you. Thanks for coming by. Much appreciated. I'm Richie, the Six String Fun. Back onto the Springsteen train, basically. Going back to Darkness on the Edge of Town, Adam Raised a Cain. This might be the opener of that album. I don't remember off the top of my head, but in my opinion, probably the heaviest song in the entire Springsteen catalog. Not because of just, distortion and loudness, but just the heaviness of the lyrics that kind of just go with that like E minor, E5, however you want to look at it, right? And then just, right, just, we're not going to go with a solo or any of that, but we can do that at a later time. But let's just kind of dig into this one. It's actually fairly simple. It's an E minor. I go with the E minor because you use them both open E string. And if you're familiar with the live 75-85 set, that's kind of how it starts, I think. So kind of like that E, E major? I don't know now as far as the scale itself, but maybe E minor. Anyway, we're not going to get into that. So, but really, E minor, A minor, there's a C in there, B gets thrown in every once in a while, and there's not a full G chord, but that G note right there on the third fret of the sixth string is really part of that riff. Alright, so we'll get into it, take a look at it now. But again, if you haven't done so, like, subscribe. All the people, checking out the channel, much appreciated as of late. sixstringfun.com, that website's up and running. I've been updating that as I go along. But let's get into this one real quick. Well, not real quick, but we'll take a closer look starting right now. I would say the E minor is probably your best way to kind of really attack this song. Because it's got that darker sound than an E5 at times. But the riff itself is centered around an E, a G, and an A, right? And then if you put those chords in there, so all I'm doing an E, it's an E5 the way I'm hitting it, but I'm playing an E minor chord. So, and you can't go wrong with the E minor. Well, maybe you could. You want to go with the E5, I think. Alright? But it's all based around the E minor chord itself, right? So, what I'm doing here is E5, open 2-2 on the 6th, 5th, and 4th strings. I'm just hitting the one note here, that G right there, to an A minor. And we're going to do that 3 times. And hold that A minor for twice as long. And then we're going to come back around reverse one time. A minor, G, E minor. Now that's the intro. The verse is going to be the same, but for the verse, what I suggest is just dynamic piece of it. Instead of go along this route. I kind of give it a, the palm mute side of it as well. Reverse. I believe that pattern is played twice. Excuse me. And then from there, the pre-chorus, you're going into an A minor. And you can strum it to the C, A minor, to the C. Now the way it's on the album with the electric guitar, Bruce, and a style of Springsteen that I've picked up, early on is that it's holding the chords but picking individual notes. So if you listen to that pre-chorus, A and that C, A minor and the C, you'll hear the individual notes. So you're hitting the root note of that A minor, which is 5th string open, and then the open 1, and then the first fret of the 2nd string, and then we just go to the C, that root, which is on the 3rd or the 5th, and then same note. think that's twice or 2 or 3 times. I'm pretty sure it's twice. On the second or on the third time around, we go back to the A minor. We go to a B. I play B. It might be a different type of B, maybe a B major 7, but it's the B, which is your turnaround. Okay? To the change to the chorus, which is similar to the verse and the intro, but it's a little playing more of a riff than chords. And you can play this a couple different ways. You can just kind of go off the 6th string, just bend that 3rd fret on the 6th string. So what I'm doing there is I'm just hitting it, bending it, and I'm pulling off to the E minor, and then hitting these open strings, the E and the B, are your best friends for this song, because that's how you're getting that darkness almost. And I'm just kind of giving the chord a strum before I go back to that beginning of it again. So right now you got the intro. Alright, the verse is that pattern, but we're just going to work with the dynamics and change it up a little bit. The pre-chorus is the A minor. C, A minor. I'm pretty sure it's twice around. The 3rd time we start on that A minor. To the B. Adam raised to Cain. Raised to Cain. Adam raised to Cain. Okay. There's a solo in there. I mean, the solo is really just kind of based around the E minor, I guess, pentatonic box. But the very, very beginning, I think there's that kind of like a solo in the beginning of something. Open E. And then you got some unison bends. It's kind of tough on the acoustic. So if you're in that E minor blues box, or E minor box, I should say, it'll work. Right? So you can make your own. One slight change as we come out of the solo. I believe we go back into the verse and a chorus, and then there's a quick change. Nothing more than, right? We do that, and just a quick change back to the B. But you'll hear that. But for the most part, that's kind of the song. I mean, if you're doing solo acoustic and you want to just kind of throw out something that, number one is a deep cut and then an acoustic deep cut, this is your way to go, I think. So, you know, the chord patterns, or if you should say the chords, E minor, A minor, C, and B. There's really not a G chord, it's just that note. But like I said, these open strings, the open E and that open B, strings 1 and 2, they're kind of your best friends for this tune. And again, the song has a dark sound, a minor sound, so that's why these all work. And that B is just a turnaround. Typically probably wouldn't work, but because of the way the chords are strung together, that's how it goes together. So, first pattern, second pattern. Same thing for the verse. We're going to just work with the dynamics there. And then pre-chord. But I think you got it. That's the song right there. I think you've got enough to work with. It's very, very similar to the recording itself. I believe he did a live acoustic, maybe on the Ghost of Tom Joad tour. It wasn't like this though. He really kind of, I mean, that whole tour he rearranged, and you know, the arrangements were all different for a lot of different songs. Especially if you remember, I think it was Promised Land. Very dark, but who knows? I'm going off of memory here. But anyway, give it a shot. Pretty straightforward. A couple chords, things you can do there. Make it your own. Enjoy. See you on the next one.